The White House and Congress. From burning down the house to losing the china in a poker game and ghosts roaming around, here are some surprises and secrets about the White House and Congress you probably didn't know. If you like the video, click the subscribe button and in the comments tell us what other bizarre things do you know about the White House or Congress? And for some extra fun, find our mascot Ned hiding throughout the video. The name changer. In schools, we read stories about the White House, and even though George Washington did not live in it, he oversaw the design. Formerly known as the President's House or Executive Mansion, its name changed years later after the 1814 burning of the property. The structure was originally the color of the construction material, and in order to hide the burning marks left after the fire, it was painted white, therefore called the White House. Free of charge. Speaking of George Washington, U.S. Congress voted to pay him $2,500 and he refused since he was doing it for the nation. He later reconsidered it, so not to set a precedent where only wealthy people will become presidents without needing to get paid. Clever on all angles. Unusual pets. When we think of a pet, a dog, a cat, or even a fish comes to mind. Some presidents like having horses, yet others had a herd of Asian elephants given by the King of Siam to James Buchanan. 2 tiger cubs also engraced the properties of the White House, from the Sultan of Oman to Van Buren. But one was the most philanthropic of all. Woodrow Wilson had a herd of sheep roaming free on the lawn of the White House. The reason? Besides their cuteness, the wool was sold to raise funds for the Red Cross. Definitely more manageable than elephants and tigers. Stars and up. Have you ever wondered why George Washington keeps having more stars as a general? Based on a public law, no one ever, past, present, and future, can outrank him in the U.S. Army. So, if there is ever a 6-star general, Washington will automatically be ranked 7-star, even though he was a 2-star general before his passing. Coincidence? In movies, we have seen natural phenomena act as if under a spell. And in Washington, D.C., that's exactly what happened. After the British troops set fire to the Capitol, the President's House, and many other federal buildings, it was reported by the National Weather Service that a bizarre storm and a very rare tornado hit the city the next day. It put all the fires out, and the debris from the tornado slayed the British troops more than the U.S. soldiers did defending the Capitol. What do you think of this coincidence? The Fight Club. As we walk around the gym, we see the machines, weights, as well as training mats used for gymnastics, martial arts, and more. And Teddy Roosevelt was not too far behind with one of his own in the basement of the White House. More memorable was that he was the first American to receive a brown belt in judo. He loved sparring so much, he even boxed with his wife, John Sullivan, who is a boxing champion, and even a minister of Switzerland. Opposing views. All of us know that the U.S. Congress is constantly divided by the opposing opinions between Republicans and Democrats. It was so bad that Wikipedia recently had to ban the IPs from Congress so to stop them from changing the entries from the other party. But once a year in summer, both parties get together to raise funds for 3 charities. Since 1909, every summer, they all put aside their differences to become united for a cause in a fair game of baseball. Free greetings. Haven't you ever wanted to impress your family or friends with a letter addressed to you from the White House? You can. A U.S. citizen can request a greeting card for occasions such as a wedding, birth, anniversary, and more. You just have to ask them in advance, and there will be one waiting for you in your mailbox for free. Forced remodeling. We already explored that the White House as it stands is a newer version of the original. In 1812, right before the invasion of British troops, President Madison's wife was able to rescue valuable items such as a painting of Washington as well as a copy of the Declaration of Independence. If you were on Dolly's shoes, what would you have saved? The anti-lazy law. Most of us know that we should read a contract before signing it, and lots of us don't. It turns out Congress has the same problem. With some bills being over 1,000 pages long, lawmakers often don't read the entire legislation before voting. An act called Read the Bill Act was drafted in 2006 and never even made it to the floor for a vote. Maybe it was because it was too long? Of ghosts and other phenomena. In movies, there is always a ghost scaring people while others preventing further tragedy. The White House is filled with them. Some worth mentioning are Dolly Madison's at her rose garden scaring people to not touch and change her roses, to Mr. Burns, who used to own part of the property before the construction of the White House. Others are Abigail Adams, Eleanor Roosevelt, but the most popular, and who should be collecting a salary for his appearances, is Abraham Lincoln. He has materialized to pretty much anyone, but it's said that he appears the day before a U.S. tragedy. The add-ons. The White House keeps expanding. With each president, a bowling alley was added by Truman, a movie theater by Woodrow Wilson, as well as a pool by Franklin Delano Roosevelt to help with his polio. But did you know there was a game room where one evening during a poker game, President Warren Harding lost an entire set of the White House china? The beginnings of the library. Earlier, we explored the destruction of all the federal buildings by the British, right? Okay, but the largest library in the world may have benefited from the burning. Better, stronger, and larger buildings were erected in Washington, D.C., and Thomas Jefferson replaced the burned books with his own 7,000-volume collection. Thanks to him, the Library of Congress had a strong start. No free lunch for you. You probably wonder who pays for the daily expenses of the president and his family. And the answer is them, not us. Dry cleaning, clothing, shoes, even toothpaste are all deducted from their salary each month. They sure need to budget too. No shopping out. How cool will it be to have a mall right under your home, right? The multi-level basement of the White House has one. Besides the Situation Room and a bowling alley, the shopping mall has a dentist office, flower shops, and more. And the president and his family has to pay to shop there too. Remember to click the bell icon after you subscribe so you can get instant notifications of all our new videos. Congress and the White House discover. What other world shall we explore? Let me know and click the like button. Thank you again for watching.